We are not at all surprised by such a snap decision by the Zelensky regime and its Western backers to request today's meeting. Many experts predicted that, suffering defeat on the front line and rapidly losing support even in the West, that the Kiev clique would use any pretext to attract global public attention to itself. Unfortunately, sirs, you chose a somewhat unfortunate pretext. Because if there's anything to talk about today, then it is exclusively the actions of the Ukrainian anti-air defense systems deployed in residential districts of Ukrainian towns and cities in violation of international humanitarian law. There have long been no doubts on this front among the users of Ukrainian social networks who are directly warning their fellow citizens about this. They are posting more and more videos online of Russian missiles and drones hitting military infrastructure targets and arms stores, causing the characteristic detonation, while Ukrainian anti-air missiles misfiring or going off course are hitting residential buildings and civilian objects. Or harm is being caused by debris falling in residential areas exclusively because Ukrainian air defense systems are located there. That was the case with the Spaso-Preobrazhensky Cathedral in Odessa, the destruction of which they tried to blame on Russia. That was also the case this morning in Kiev, Odessa, Lvov, Kharkov, Dnipropetrovsk, and other cities from where reports of casualties have been coming in. The representative of the United Kingdom shamelessly said that there would have been more victims if the Ukrainian air defense systems had not worked. Well, it's hard to imagine anything more cynical. If the Ukrainian air defense systems hadn't operated, then there wouldn't have been any victims among civilians at all. Therefore, we would advise that the United Kingdom be more cautious in its deliveries of anti-air defense missiles to the Kiev regime, the use of which is leading to the deaths of civilians. The Nazi regime is prepared to use Western weapons and anti-air missiles to kill not just the residents of Donbass, but also their own citizens in their homes and in civilian facilities. If Ukraine didn't violate international humanitarian law, there wouldn't have been any casualties, despite the truly massive strike launched by the aerospace forces of Russia yesterday and today on military targets across Ukraine, on targets of the military-industrial complex, the military airfield infrastructure, arsenals, and also stores of artillery shells, unmanned boats, arms and fuel for military hardware, the places where Ukrainian armed forces units are deployed, and formations of nationalists and foreign mercenaries. This is evident not just for experts, but also to any unbiased observer. Here, for example, is a link to a video with today's impact on a residential building in Kiev, which shows how a burning object slowly falls on the building, and only the upper floors of the building were damaged in this. A successfully operating missile at that speed and on that trajectory simply doesn't operate in that way. And it's clear that this is the result of Ukrainian air defense operations. By way of comparison, here is a link to another video showing today's impact of an Israeli missile on a residential building in Khan Yunis in the south of the Gaza Strip. It shows not only the moment of impact of the missile, but also the fact that this multi-story building is left in ruins. You can only imagine the number of victims of this barbaric targeted strike, and in Gaza there are dozens of these a day, but of course that is not a basis for our Western colleagues to convene an emergency meeting of the Security Council.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like our videos and hit the bell icon to stay updated with the latest.